Hi, good morning, everyone. My name's Chrisel. I'm one of the counselors here at Fortrust to teach this. And today we will be joined by some of our students or student of ours who is already in Canada, together with her spouse. So help me welcome Pam and Lance, all from Toronto, Canada. I hope I'm getting some feedback that my internet's a bit slow, but hopefully things go smoothly. Oh no, everyone's internet's a little slow. Hopefully this goes well. Hi, Pam and Lance. Good morning or good evening on your end.
Hi.
Hi,
So,
Chrisel.
hi. This
Good
is
evening.
actually our first time to meet you or to talk to you. Just we were able to talk briefly at the backstage earlier. So today we just wanted to give some of our prospective clients or some people who are considering the student visa pathway and bringing their families with them, like a realistic perspective of what it's like. We usually hear so many good things about moving to Canada, about Canada, but we don't always hear the nitty gritty or the challenges that people face. So we want to make sure that, especially those that are considering bringing their family with them, their children, that they know exactly what to expect when they get to Canada. So hopefully you'll be able to share us your experience.
Kailan tayo mo? So, doon tayo nag-live.
So sorry about that. Hopefully, one of the good things is that your internet is much better there in Canada. We were just discussing that earlier. I'm so sorry. So anyway, let's start. Would you like to introduce yourselves? Tell us a little bit about what you guys were doing here in the Philippines.
You want to start? Or
Ako muna.
ikaw?
Okay. I'm Pam. I'm Pam
Yeah,
Pasco. Um, before before going to Canada, I'm working for an advertising agency. So I'm an account manager, and yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, hi, I'm Lance. And before going here to Canada, isa naman akong freelance events coordinator. Yeah.
and how did the thought start? Or how did it occur to you guys na tara mag-Canada tayo? May nakita ba kayong Facebook ad or did you talk to friends? Ano mo yun? How did it start for you guys?
Okay. It's all because of the pandemic. So the pandemic, lagi ko sinasabi sa friends ko, changed the landscape of businesses, and um, it brought a big change to our lives. So nung nakita namin na parang ang laki ng effect niya in the Philippines, naisip namin bigla na baka life's better if we try to um, look into migrating.
So I would say that our lives in the Philippines, nung nandiyan kami, we were both doing good dun sa ginagawa namin pareho. But COVID has really affected both of our works. Kasi syempre, me being in the events, tapos usually, or most of the time is in the events too. Kaya sobrang apektado yung livelihood namin. Kaya naisipan namin na, you know what, why don't we try moving elsewhere? Try our luck. Okay, parang ganun.
So the initial thought was really migrating. Yun yung
Yes.
long-term goal. It was really to
Yeah.
migrate. Okay. Did you have children?
Yes,
Did you bring your children with you?
Yes.
Yes.
Oo. Dala namin. Parang bagahin.
Pagka, ano pa lang, initial application, kasama niyo na yung kids.
Yes,
Yes.
oo. So family app siya. Actually, ang nauna sa Canada is me, Lance, and our son, yung bunso. Tapos, come September, after 6 months.
Yeah,
tama ba?
after 6 months.
After 6 months, sumunod naman
yung panganay.
Mm.
Kasi I can't imagine na parang dadating ka sa totally new place, bit-bit mo yung kids, your whole family, na hindi mo pa alam kung ano ba itsura ng titirhan natin, how do we get around. So that's also parang a common question that we get, or sort of like advice that we give some of our students, na one person first, at least find out how the lifestyle is, ano yung cost of living before bringing your family. So it's good to hear that it worked out for you guys, na the kids didn't join you right away, pero little by little the family was able to successfully transition naman to Canada. Now my next question is, why specifically Canada? There are also a lot of countries that are open to migration, to students bringing their families there, like Australia, New Zealand. Bakit Canada yung napili niyo?
Well, initially, ang nasa isip talaga namin was Australia. Hindi namin siya naisip ng tara punta tayo doon. My brother who's in Australia reached out to us, offered us. Sabi niya, Kuya, bakit hindi nyo i-try na pumunta dito? I think it'd be better na maraming opportunities here. So we tried going to Australia, and actually Pam already passed her application for the school, and she was even offered a scholarship there. Pero naisip namin, since may relatives din ako sa US, sabi ko it's closer, na mas malapit tayo sa US, and I have a brother here as well in Canada. So sabi ko, kausapin ko yung kapatid ko, and I would say it turned out really, really well, and we're just loving it so far.
So what are your experiences? What makes it different from, our life here in the Philippines? Like in general, for kids, for you guys, work-wise as well, it must have been a big adjustment, being already, kahit papano, I'm sure here in your careers, you had already gained momentum, and then starting from scratch again. What was it like?
Siguro sa akin as a student, I would say nahirapan ako maghanap ng work. Although hindi talaga ako naghahanap ng work talaga. Na as in yung hindi ko siya priority at that time. Since meron kaming little kid na hindi pa nag-aaral, I opted to study na lang muna. And then nagsasubmit ako ng application from time to time. Pero kapag hindi sumagot, okay lang. And then eventually, sinwerte ako na nakapasok ako sa same field na meron ako na I had before sa Philippines. And siguro something different sa work ko is right now kasi permanent kami na work from home. Something different also is every day talagang kailangan mo mag-English na kasi puro iba na yung lahi
so,
na
tataas na IELTS natin pagkatapos nito.
sana. And also yung culture, lalo na sa work kasi sa Philippines, being in an advertising agency, sanay ako na talagang pukpukan, talagang laging OT kung OT. Pagdating dito, nahihiya na yung mga boss mo or mga katrabaho mo na i-message ka after office hours. Na one thing na maganda rin talaga.
Hello,
kasi
bosses out there. So may work-life balance pa din.
Yes.
Important sa kanila yun.
Important.
Sa akin naman, sa struggles ng trabaho dito, being having an open work, hindi mahirap maghanap ng trabaho. It really was very easy for me. My plan was, gusto ko muna mag-relax for the first month na nandito kami sa Canada. Gusto ko muna makita yung explore ko muna, makapag-drive muna ako dito just to get familiar.
Tourist muna.
Parang
yes, okay.
Unfortunately, since COVID, nag-lockdown. So, after quarantine namin, hindi rin kami masyadong nakapag-ikot-ikot. Pero, I would say, looking for a job here in Canada is hindi siya mahirap. I would say, mas mahirap hanap ng trabaho sa Philippines.
Talaga? Considering COVID. I mean, considering COVID, pandemic time na yun. Yeah, it's the first time that I've heard that.
I just had to go to an app and submitted resumes. And I would say they really like Filipinos here in Canada. first and foremost, lamang tayo when it comes to English.
Yeah.
Magaling magsalita ang Pilipino and they can really relay what they want to say. Doesn't matter with the grammar or how you say the words. Basta nare-relay mo ng maayos yung message. Naiintindihan nila. And I work for BPO companies on my first 5 years of working. So I didn't really have a hard time communicating with the people here in Canada. But I would say Filipinos should have an advantage. And from where I work, they really love it, I would say. Kasi because of the work ethic and yun.
I think that's common. English, work ethic, and attitude.
Yes.
Parang I think because nga sanay tayo sa hopefully yung culture natin dito na pukpukan talaga, when we get there, parang we're so happy, I guess, na mas maganda yung work-life balance. Did I get that right?
Yes, I would say so. Yun talaga, yun pa yung isa sa work-life balance.
Yes.
I only work 4 days a week.
Yeah,
So, I get to
full-time na yun?
Yes, and that's a full-time work.
Yeah. I would say mas madali maghanap ng work for open work versus students na nagpa-part-time. Although siguro for other people, madali lang maghanap. Ako kasi hindi naman ako, hindi ko talaga siya prioritize at the start. No, kaya medyo siguro nahihirapan ako. Pero yung other friends ko,
yes.
Sorry, go ahead, Ms. Pam.
Ayan. Pero yung other friends ko, nakakuha naman sila agad ng work. So, yeah.
Galing. Sir Lance, anong app yun? For my, I'm sure a lot of people will be curious to know. Pwede bang i-share? If not, type mo na lang, sir.
It's Indeed. Indeed.
Indeed, yes.
It's Indeed.
So,
it's really very
I also see schools, a lot of colleges give out that app nga.
Madali siya.
Job street pa natin yun?
Actually, mas madali pang i-navigate yung Indeed kasi you create your own profile, you put in your own resume, and then you just you look for jobs that you want to there's a proximity, like kung gusto mo yung malapit lang sa bahay nyo, kung ganyan, tapos just click on submit and they're gonna get in touch with you. Like for example, in my case, I started submitting my resume in, I would say, the last week of April, and maraming sumagot. I received a lot of offers. Tapos nag-interview din nila ako, and I got job offers. Pero pinili ko kasi may kailangan kang piliing specific type of job para sa when you're working on your permanent residency naman. So I have to be picky. Pero marami talagang job opportunities here.
It's good that you had like the luxury of time to be able to choose So do you think it helped that do you think may purpose ang proof of funds? Like the embassy asks for, or immigration asks for proof of funds, right? And how accessible it is. Did it matter that you had like accessible funds when you went there, or in savings to support yourself while you were there?
I would say yes.
Does it matter, or parang enough na ba yung pwede ko nang asahan tong part-time job ko or yung work na makukuha ko doon?
I don't know. I can't say na you can rely on it. If you work part-time here, I would say with the here in Toronto, kasi we are living here in Toronto, and the cost of living here is mataas. So I wouldn't rely on a part-time job.
Yeah.
So, in our case naman, I didn't really force Pam to look for a job kasi I'm working full-time.
Yeah.
She's nag-aaral siya. I want her to focus more on her studies para matapos niya ng maayos. And I'm proud to say my si Pam here finished with honors.
Wow, congratulations. That's another question din, Ms. Pam, that we get a lot. Madaming kinakabahan na mag-aral ulit. Kasi like there are a lot of people in their mid-20s or in their mid-30s or even up to their 40s that haven't studied in a while. Kasi yung culture naman natin dito, after college, you go to work. Some people after a few years will take their master's degree. Madaming kinakabahan na kaya ko pa ba mag-aral after so many years? Alam mo yun, kaya ko ba yung standards nila? Am I competitive enough? So, would you say kaya naman? Or
Oo,
kailangan mag-brush up ng konti?
Yun din yung mga apprehensions ko before going to Canada. Kasi parang feeling ko, kaya ko ba mag-aral ulit after 10 years? 10 years kasi yung
So,
pagitan.
10-year gap.
Oo. Pero nung nag-start na akong mag-aral, I would say mas madali. Oh, hindi. Hindi, mali siguro. Yung ibang friends ko, sinasabi nila na sa ibang program, mas madali yung aral nila dito sa Canada versus sa Philippines. Yung sa akin kasi it's data analytics. So pag narinig mo pa lang, mas sakit na sa
Oo,
ulo.
yes, tama.
Pero I would say napadali siya because kapag college kasi dito more on group works, group projects. So kung marunong kang makipag-networking, marunong kang makisama talaga dun sa mga classmates mo, madali lang, makukuha mo rin eventually kung paano yung tamang balance sa pag-aaral tsaka sa pag, I don't know, and life itself, ganon.
Anything students should prepare for before they go there?
Prepare for siguro
Hindi ka
yung
naman nag-review, di ba? So,
Oo.
I don't think there's
Walang
really...
ganon. No need. Yeah. Parang they'll...
Sorry. I see people
Go
or
ahead.
students na kinakabahan sila kasi they're not very good in English. Siguro kung gusto mo talagang hindi ka nakabahan or maging equipped ka, pwede ka mag-practice sa Philippines. Pero pagdating mo dito, mas mahahasa mo siya kasi you don't have any choice but to speak in English. Nung una, to be honest with you, hindi ako ganun ka-comfortable mag-English. As in, nagtitinginan pa kami nung
English
una.
only.
Ikaw na, ganyan. Ganun ako. Kasi hindi talaga ako very comfortable. Tapos yung parang nung mga nito na lang, nung mga after ilang months, parang yun na yung ginagamit namin madalas. Tapos parang alam mo yun, yung parang pag tinanong ka nila, very natural mo na lang siya sasagutin. Tapos hindi mo na namamalayan na meron ka na ring accent eventually.
Ayan,
adapt mo rin siya.
And I would say that's really one of the big differences. I would say this is my opinion on the difference between Canada and the US. Hindi ganun karami yung or I've never encountered anyone here in Canada na parang bakit ganyan ka magsalita? Bakit ka may punto? Hindi ka
sa atin lang ata.
Yes.
Pero
Di ba? Sa atin lang tayo, madaming critical if you don't speak good English. Pero
here in Canada, talagang very open sila. Because there's, I would say, Canada is a melting pot of a lot of different cultures. There's everything's positive here. Wala akong makitang negative when it comes to like working or striking a conversation. Yun pang isa dito sa Canada, parang the small talks that you have. Order ka lang ng pagkain. How are you doing?
Madami ng kwento.
Magbabayad ka lang sa grocery, makikipagkwentuhan pa yung cashier. Talagang makakapag-practice ka ng salita. Hindi yung, how are you? I'm good.
Ganun ako. How are you? Noong una nagulat ako. Tatanong kung kamusta ako. Tapos hanggang eventually, pag nagtatanong na sila, good. Tapos tatanungin mo na rin sila kung kamusta sila. Kasi very, natural talaga
parang
sila.
happy. Parang happy naman nila.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
How about the kids?
On how
Oo, ang galing nga eh. How about the kids? Are they adjusting well? How old are they, by the way?
We have 6 and 12.
6 and 12. So 12, medyo may own identity, may own, may group.
5-year-old lang yung isa.
5
12 and 5.
Kamusta sila? So yung 5 nag-aaral na din. More or less, first experience sa school, I guess, no? Kasi hindi naman tayo nag-face-to-face dito.
Yeah.
Actually,
how is it for the 5-year-old?
When he first started schooling, akala namin mahihirapan pa yung paghatid namin sa kanya sa school, hindi pa kami makakaalis agad. Pero on the very first day of him going to school, parang gusto na niyang umalis kami agad eh. Parang okay na nga.
Pandemic
umalis. And to think na very first school experience niya, no? akala namin mahirapan kami, but no. Actually nadalian kami dun sa ano na yon, yung first
Sa
school,
schooling,
yung first
yes.
day niya.
Mm.
Doon naman sa panganay namin when she first
Mas madali.
started schooling here. Kasi nung dumating naman siya, middle of the ano naman, parang kasi since sumunod lang siya, I would say months later, nung dumating siya, nag-start na yung school year. Tapos hindi rin siya nahirapan. Actually, she enjoyed it kasi there's a lot of Filipinos here, really.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's just because we're here in Toronto, but with siguro yung preference din namin sa school, no, since maraming Catholics sa atin sa Philippines and we're Catholics as well.
Yeah.
Pagka nag-enroll may mga anak mo sa Catholic school, most of them, if not all, are Filipinos or Canadians. Kasi siguro yung mga Indians and the Chinese have different religions, so hindi nila preferred yung so hindi nahirapan mag-adjust both our kids kasi karamihan Filipinos.
Yeah. Although I have to add, for the 5-year-old, yung mga kids kasi dito, very dependent na sila. Sa ano pa lang, siguro mga toddler years pa lang nila, tinuturuan na sila how to be independent. So yun yung mga worried ako nung una. Kasi
Struggles yan.
Oo, struggles. Kasi first time niya magsuschool, tapos since kakadating lang namin from the Philippines, hindi pa talaga ganun ka-dependent yung kid ko, yung son ko. So, nung pumasok siya, lagi ko pa siyang nire-remind ko ano yung mga gagawin niya, yung snacks niya naka-number para alam niya kung kailan niya kakainin. Tapos, pinapractice pa namin how to button the shirt, how to put on the jacket and the shoes.
Especially kasi
ganun eh.
malamig dito. So, hindi mo pwedeng, pag iniwan mo yung anak mo na hindi nagbalot, tapos hindi sila babalutan ng teacher.
Hindi sila tutulungan.
They're expecting them to be dependent.
Independent.
Sorry. So, yun. Kailangan turuan mo yung paano isuot yung mittens.
Ang ganda talaga. Wow. Oo nga. Dito medyo pampered ang kids natin. Madaming extended families. Alam mo yun, it's just the way that we do things here in the Philippines.
And one other thing that's different siguro yung pagbabaon namin sa mga anak namin. No? Nung
Rice pa din ba?
Nung first few weeks ng schooling, papadala pa kami ng mga parang mga zesto, yung mga nakatetrapak na juice. Bawal pala dito.
So, parang kailangan
healthy.
Yeah, hindi ka pwede magpabaon sa mga anak mo ng nuts or anything na pwedeng
may allergy.
Na pwedeng allergic yung ibang bata kasi they can share their food. Tapos yun yung maraming bawal. Yun yung maraming bawal dito.
But they informed you naman ahead of time. Mahaba yung list of rules.
Hindi yung first school.
Yeah.
Yung first. Tapos, so yun yung mga struggles. But eventually, nakita namin yung progress niya. Ngayon, parang wala na. Sobrang alam niya na lahat ng gagawin niya. And ilang months lang yun.
Ang next question ko po, were you able to choose, I'm sure a lot of parents are interested in this, were you able to choose the school na gusto namin Catholic school?
Yes. Yeah. So sa Toronto, or siguro sa ibang province, I'm not sure. Pero dito sa Toronto, may choice ka if gusto mo ng public school, like a community public school, or a Catholic school. Pareho yun, funded ng government. Pareho yun free. So, walang babayaran. We opted for Catholic school kasi nga Catholic kami.
That's good.
Pero we have options.
And I would say, nakadepende siya sa location. Kung saan ka nakatira. Hindi ko kasi alam kung paano ko yung, for example, sa atin sa Quezon City, merong isang Catholic school tapos may isang public school. Pagka lumipat ka sa Marikina, for example, meron din silang sarili nila. Na pag lumipat ka sa Marikina, kailangan lumipat din yung kids mo.
Yeah, oo. So, yeah, kaya nag-move kami ng house, nagpalit sila ng school.
So nag-move na din kayo from like your original, I think it's called the school board, no? Na parang there's one authority that takes charge of a certain area, tapos sila mag-a-assign kung anong school ka, depending nga kung saan ka nakatira. So I think that's also something important.
Very, very smooth yung transition. Yung na lumipat kami ng bahay, so they need to transfer schools. I would say maybe the next few days, nakalipat silang school.
Priority.
May binayaran po kayo?
Wala.
Sobrang free lang.
Again, another thing that a lot of people are interested in. Actually, alam mo, part of our presentation usually sa mga webinars namin is that Canada ranks very high sa reading, math, and they credit this to the number of migrant children, immigrant children. Kasi nga parang, I guess they're able to transition very well na nakakapag-excel sila. Okay naman, quality of education for your kids.
Yes,
Yes.
I would
Happy
say
kayo?
yes.
Happy kayo.
Talagang priority nila yung kids dito sa Canada. Makikita mo siya sa school system, sa healthcare system. Talagang gusto nila yung what's best for the kids.
And I would say there's not a lot of difference in when it comes to, like, syempre in the Philippines, no. My daughter, I'm sending her to a private school in the Philippines, and it's not cheap.
Yes.
Tapos, nung dumating dito, I would say it's the same quality education,
But it's free.
but it's free now. So
Amazing, di ba? Na parang your tuition fee as a college student, kasama yung family mo, kasama yung kids mo. For me, talagang Canada, it's one of the most sulit. Yun talaga yung
all worth it.
word for it eh.
Tama pa healthcare.
It's
And we're not
and
even
the
talking
healthcare
about
kasama
healthcare.
din.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
may healthcare kami dahil sa kanya kasi open work permit siya. So, nung one time nagkaroon ng asthma yung 5-year-old namin. Wala kaming binayaran sa medicine. So, free.
Galing
Every
ano. Sa medicine, not check up, pati yung gamot kasama.
prescription, lahat
Yeah.
kasama.
Oh my gosh, sana all. Ang galing, ang galing.
Kami din nung
So,
nung
we're-
first time pumunta ako sa drugstore. Tapos tinanong ko kung may babayaran ba ako. Sabi niya wala. Kasi covered ng card namin, ng health card. So parang ako, okay, thank you. Sobrang thankful ko.
Thank
kasi,
you talaga, di ba? Ang galing, ang galing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna, kasi I know it's like we're 12 hours yung difference natin. I'm just gonna take a few minutes to do a presentation and then we'll come back for a few more questions. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah, go ahead, yes.
All right. Thanks. Evie, start our slides. As I mentioned earlier, we have Pamela Lance with us to tell us about their life in Canada, what it's like to be a student and bring your family with you, just to give people like a realistic view of what it's like there. But also, of course, I have to present the services of Fortrust. What's Fortrust? Who are we? So Fortrust is an education agency. So we've been around for 26 years. Originally, we started in Sydney, Australia. Our team is made out of experts from the industry, of course, with over 50 years combined experience. We have offices in Makati. Makati is our main office. We are open. However, we are only accepting scheduled appointments for now. We have offices in Baguio, in Cebu, in Davao, and General Santos as well. We also have offices across the Asia Pacific region in Australia and Singapore, India, Myanmar, Thailand, Vietnam, and Malaysia. I don't think Indonesia as well. Okay, so we have a network of over 500 colleges and universities worldwide. We aren't limited to Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. We have partners across Europe, the US, even in India. If you want to study in Malaysia and Singapore, we can arrange that for you. However, for today, actually, for the focus for the last few years has been on Canada, which I'll tell you a little bit more later on. I also want to stress that because we have such a wide network of colleges and universities, we'll be able to match you with one that is right for you, depending on what you're looking for, depending on your budget as well. There are institutions that offer their tuition fee for as low as 12,000 Canadian dollars a year. There are institutions as well that can offer their tuition fee for as high as 40,000 Canadian dollars a year. So we'll try to find the right fit for you. We'll try to find the right course for you as well to make sure that you get your visa approval. So these are some of our preferred partners or some of our partnered institutions. So what makes Fortrust unique? Of course, we have our free consultation. Why do we do this free consultation? We want to make sure that our students have as much information as possible before they spend a single peso, before they make any commitments. And webinars like this or interviews like this is part of kumbaga, that commitment. We want to make sure that you have a realistic view of what's ahead of you. Also, during the consultation, you'll get an idea of the process and the course and the cost, to make sure that before you commit or you pay anything, it's something that you can get through. Okay. So what is best for you? We will suggest courses and institutions depending on, number one, what will get you the visa approval. Okay, that is the number one goal for us, to make sure that we get you to your destination. Number two, we'll also look for institutions or colleges for you based on your budget limitation, as I mentioned earlier. Of course, we won't be suggesting universities that charge X thousand of dollars if we know that this is how much you have to work for. We'll also look at your desired location based on, let's say, family members, or let's say my na-research ka na that this is the area that I like. Also based on the cost of living, of course. Some areas in Canada will cost higher. Like they mentioned earlier, Toronto's cost of living is a little bit higher. If you can't, if you think it's over your budget, then we'll look for other areas or other provinces with a lower cost of living. And of course, your personal objectives. Like earlier, Miss Pam was saying that she's studying data analytics because number one, it's related to her previous experience, and number two, it's rarely offered as a full course here in the Philippines. Okay. We also do, this is something that makes Fortrust a little bit unique. We do PR planning, or permanent residency planning. Okay. Because of certain laws of Canada, we have a partnered immigration lawyer who will sort of sign off on all of your applications, or all of the applications of our students. But earlier, or a few years back, we also realized that the end goal for most students who want to study in Canada is to transition to permanent residency. These are people who want options, or who want better passport, shall we say, or a better future for their kids, people who want to explore or find opportunity elsewhere. So we have what is called a PR plan for our students, or majority of our students. And this is sort of like a manual of how to attain permanent residency. It will look at your age, your IELTS, your work experience here in the Philippines, your education here in the Philippines. It will also tell you, what else? It will tell you more or less what job you need to get, how long of a course you need to take in Canada, and the IELTS that you need to eventually transition to permanent residency. So most of our students will have this plan. And in our earlier episode, or in episode 1, when we were with Sir Aaron, he actually used this when he applied for permanent residency. He used it as a guide when he studied, before he applied for his course, when he graduated. He used it as a guide also to know exactly what kind of job he should look for after graduation. And successful naman po siya. So what services do you get from Fortrust? Of course, we'll always try to provide you with the best option. We will apply you to your preferred college. We'll help you get your letter of acceptance and your confirmation of confirmation of enrollment. We'll also help you with your insurance, your tuition fee payments, and accommodations. For your tuition fee payments, although I would like to always remind our students, our prospective students, whoever is listening out there, the tuition fee payments should be paid directly to your school, your university, or your college. Never give this to your agent or a third party. Always pay it directly to your school. Okay? We will help prepare you for your departure. The rules for Canada are changing. Parang almost every other month may bagong rules. So we will make sure that you have the most updated rules before you leave. And of course, we will also help bring out the best in your study plan. And your study plan, it's sort of like the heart of your application. It's your means to communicate with your immigration officer why you want to study in Canada. We'll make sure that it's complete. All right. What else do you get? What's the value of Fortrust? Okay, when you work with us, you'll be working with a whole team. You won't just be working with one person. Okay, you'll have an education counselor who will assess your resume to make sure that the course that you're applying to is best suited for you. There's some what we call a logical pathway. Your education counselor will also make sure that you get accepted in your institution. There are seats available. They will facilitate that whole process. Once you have your letter of acceptance, you'll then be endorsed to a visa officer. Now, the job of the visa officer is to make sure that all your documents are complete, updated, and correct. Okay. Once in a while, a senior visa officer will also come into play for more complicated cases. A senior visa officer may double check your application as well. A content specialist will help you with your study plan, not to create your study plan. You have to create your study plan because it's a very personal document. But just to make sure that it is complete, that we didn't miss out any important aspects of it. At the end of it all, we then pass on your file or your documents to our partnered immigration lawyer, and that immigration lawyer will do what is called the file review, and sign off on your application. He will then act as your authorized representative with immigration. So everything that we do will be with his sort of like signature, his authorization, basically. There you go. So when you work with us, it can be a little bit more tedious. There are more people to work with, but it has been working for us. Our approval rate for Canada is around 93%, which is way above the approval rate of the Philippines. Okay, because also, even if there are more people that you're working with, it's also that there are more people to double check your application. Okay, so there. So far, it's worked for us. Is your case complicated? Or do you have previous refusals? Do you have numerous refusals from other agents? Or let's say, are there things that you cannot explain about your situation, or are no other agencies accepting your case? Then come to us. We will, number one, be very honest with you. If we feel that kahit kami hindi namin kaya, we will tell you naman po upfront. One of our core values as well is to make sure that the expectations of our students are set from the very beginning. But come to us. Come to us if you've had previous refusals, if let's say you're in your 40s, going to your 50s, or you feel na parang mahirap tong case ko. We've had students approved even with like 4 refusals in the past. This is to Canada, ha? With refusals sa permanent residency, tourist visa, 4 refusals for a student visa, napa-approve naman po namin. We've had students that are what we call mature students, people in their 40s. Actually, anyone over 35 will be considered already a mature student. So don't be offended. This is more like the guidelines given to us as well by our partnered immigration lawyer. People in their 50s even, we were able to get an approved student visa. Okay, so anything complex, come to us. You never know. All right. If you don't have a counselor yet, just click on this or copy this link to set a consultation. We're still working from home. A lot of our counselors are working from home. Our offices are open because we sort of like rotate schedules in the office. So if you do want to visit our office, please make sure that you set an appointment with us just to make sure that we can accommodate you or hindi po tayo magsabay-sabay in the office. Of course, we want to make sure that everyone is safe pa din naman po. So if you don't have a counselor yet, contact or take a screenshot of this, get in touch with our counselor so we can set a consultation. We prefer to do Zoom, phone consultation, or if hindi talaga kaya, then we'll see you at the office. Okay, that's it for me. All right, thank you for giving me that few minutes to like sort of do a quick presentation for anyone. So just a few more questions. Actually, more of hindi naman questions. What tips do you have for families?
Sorry.
Sabi mo muna yung presentation.
Sorry, bago namin sagutin yung question pala. Just wanted to let you know that the process that you just showed, yun talaga yung ginawa sa amin ni Dale. Dale Damasco kasi yung ano namin, yung education counselor. Yeah. So, I think one of the reason kung bakit pinili namin yung Fortrust is because of the PR plan. Yun yung something unique with the agency. Um, and sobrang nakatulong siya for me to choose the program. Kasi tatlo yung choices ko for the program. I think yun yung process eh. Pinapili ka nila. Magre-research ka on your own and then i-review nila. So yun yung nagustuhan ko with the agency.
Yeah, I would be
I
really
have to
honest.
say, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. I would really be honest with you, since kahit nandito kayo Fortrust. Fortrust was really not like our first choice, or we've never heard of Fortrust before. I've never heard of them. A few guys, no. Pero we really consulted with a lot of different agencies. Since hindi biro yung ilalabas mo na pera, so sabi ko, I might as well do our research too. Makipag-usap tayo sa kanila, kausapin natin. And I would say maybe Dale really gave us, doon ako kasi talaga na ano kay Dale na parang sabi ko, sa lahat ng nakausap ko, si Dale ang parang nakapagpagaan ng loob ko.
Yeah.
Parang she can do no wrong. Si Dale, di ba? Parang saya-saya niyang tao.
Kaya nung narinig ko nag-aabogado sa sabi ko na ano tayo na.
Yes, galing, di ba?
Pero it's a good thing with Dale, no? And so far, since it was our first year anniversary here kahapon in Canada.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And in the past year, no, siguro dalawa na yung na-refer ko na friends ko. And they're gonna be more than. Marami na kaming na-refer. Pero there's already one here who consulted with Fortrust who's gonna be here in September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Galing. Thank you so much for your support.
No problem.
Me also, I have to say that PR plan, it's like, for me, it's like essential.
Yeah.
Why spend millions of pesos for bahala na? Alam mo yun, we didn't have that before eh. Kasi we didn't want to charge too much. Our service used to be for free. And then we found out through an event of Education Canada that students are supposed to be represented. So we were already working very well with the Australian Embassy, the New Zealand Embassy. We were recognized agencies by those countries. So we wanted to do what is right. Na if there's a law, then sige, we have to, but will charge, sayang naman. Then we figured out, total, we're working na din naman with an immigration lawyer, might as well, let's make the most out of this partnership. Then it wasn't all the time that we used to offer this, but when we did offer it, parang hindi na namin, parang it doesn't feel right anymore not to offer it. To have it for people that are spending so much. Why go into it blindly? It just doesn't make sense, right? So
actually, we contemplated on.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. No, we actually contemplated on doing it on processing our own application. No, nag-isip kami, sabi ko, kaya siguro natin to, kaya naming dalawa. Pero maglalabas tayo ng malaking pera. Why not do it right? Na parang gawin na natin ang tama.
100%. I agree.
Why not ask experts on how they do it?
Yeah.
And since he really handled our case, she really handled our case personally. So it's on a more personal approach yung kay Dale. So yun ko na feel yung
concern.
Yung concern niya. Actually, nag-agahan pa nga siya sa amin minsan eh.
Joke lang yun.
Gusto ko lang sabihin na talagang yung approach ni Dale sa amin, very personal. I'll take care of you guys. Talagang gagawin ko to para sa inyo. Made us assured na parang sabi ko, sige,
Thank you. If Dale is listening, thank you, Dale, for talaga, that's always a feedback we get for Dale. It's very personal, and I hope most of our counselors will be able, or usually naman, they're very hands-on with their clients as well, because I've been doing this for quite some time. It's such a big responsibility. Na people, that these people are counting on you to change their lives, literally change the direction of their lives. So we also take our job very seriously. Even in our group chat, minsan gabi na approve na each and every visa approval is is a celebration pa din. Even if it's been so long already that we've been doing this, we also take it very personally when a visa is denied. We will put our everything into it to make sure that it gets approved. And also at the same time, we celebrate with our students. I think also that makes it different, the culture that we have at the office, wherein we celebrate. It's really a celebration whenever we get a visa approval. And when we see success stories na parang, oh, na-PR na to, this person was able to get a job, this person was able to get dean, kahit yung Dean's Lister or student with honors, malaking big deal sa amin yun. Also, I think it's because we're a small company, so it makes it a little different also, that we can be a little bit more hands-on with our students. So, I know it's getting late, magmi-midnight na dyan sa inyo. Any tips, any words of advice for people that are considering bringing their families Canada?
Ikaw na muna magbigay ng tip. Ikaw na.
Ako? Sa tips, I would say, trust your gut instinct. Especially in the time of COVID. I would say na, especially nagtatrabaho kami, if both of us are working in the events industry. If you think mas marami kang opportunities, mas marami kang magagawa dito, go for it. I know it's maraming gagastusin, maraming iisipin mo talaga yon, pero mabilis siyang mababawi. I mean, mababalik mo rin siya. So, wag mong isipin yung ilalabas mo. Think of what you're gonna get.
Ako, from my end, siguro we just had the luxury na to spend more time to study, and ako not to look for a job right away. But I think one of the things na nakatulong din sa akin in getting this job is using my LinkedIn profile. So parang siguro while they're in the Philippines, build na nila yung profile nila na yun. Kasi nakatulong yun sa akin. My employer right now, siya yung nag-reach out sa akin sa LinkedIn. Kasi nakita niya na very active, talagang updated yung profile ko. And maraming employers yung nag-reach out talaga sa LinkedIn because of networking. So one thing that they need to do siguro take into consideration is yung dapat marunong ka makipag-networking when you go here sa Canada. Kasi very big deal sa kanila yon. Usually sa mga companies daw, ang ginagawa muna nila is referral. So kapag halimbawa meron someone from the company, tapos merong vacancy doon, tatanungin muna nila kung may kakilala sila na pwede nilang i-refer before they reach out to other agencies, parang human resource agencies o kaya mga Indeed ganyan na platform.
All right, guys. So don't forget Indeed and LinkedIn. Start working on that, or don't forget that. Magagamit nyo yan pagdating nyo sa Canada. So again, Ms. Pam and Sir Lance, I'd like to thank you for your time. Hopefully, the people who are listening or come across this video will get a good idea of what to expect when they get to Canada. Hopefully your tips, I'm sure your tips will be able to help them as well, and encourage people also, especially to bring their children with the education, with the feedback that you gave us about the education there for the kids. So again, thank you for your time and good night to you guys. May any messages, any hellos?
Pwede bang mag-plug ng YouTube channel? Pwede ba?
Yes, of course. Naman.
Kung gusto yung subaybayan, or kung gusto yung makita how everything has turned out for us here in Canada, you can follow us on YouTube, no? You can subscribe.
I will follow you.
Video kami doon.
Meron kaming isang video din.
Ay, one video pa lang. Oh, sige.
One video pa lang,
pero syempre pag dami
lang yun. Yes, you have to start somewhere.
Pasco Vlogs yun. Pasco
Vlogs. It's our last name, DLOG. Yes.
Can we flash that din kaya, AV? Or we'll post that also?
Yeah, sure, you can do that.
I will follow you guys. You have one subscriber with me. Thank you guys. And again, thank you for your time. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.